Gladiators, welcome back. Today I have a business specialist, a gladiator in Ameen Ahsan. Pronounced
Yes,
beautifully,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Forever. Welcome, Ameen.
Thank you.
A lot of my podcast is personal stuff and motivational stuff. Now, you specialize in fixing businesses, small to medium-sized businesses, and that's my playing field is. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to hear a little bit of your history, your journey. What are you doing right now? And we talk about businesses, like what are the biggest hurdles they have? What are the challenges they face? If you don't mind, would that be okay?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Great. So tell me about your journey. What brings you to Dubai?
Well, the thing is that I was in UAE from my childhood. I had my schooling here.
Were you born here?
Yeah, no, I was not born here. My mother, when she was pregnant and about to deliver, she went back home, delivered there, and came back. So till 8th grade, I was here. We live in Alain. That's the place where we have our relatives, our businesses, and everything. Even now, I live in Alain.
You drove all the way from Alain to here this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I think that's much more comfortable than traveling from one part of Dubai to the Dubai itself.
True.
The peace of mind that you get in Alain is awesome. I mean, I would say wherever you are, when it comes to sleeping, you have to be in Alain.
Yes. I ask you, hand on heart, and we're not going to mention names or firms. Was there a big difference between the guys who went to Harvard and all this and what you were doing?
I think it's more about the kind of exposure that they get.
So it opens doors.
It does open doors, yeah.
To me, business is simple, okay? You sell goods, you add value, and in return you get paid, right? And you continue to add value and you continue to get paid. You exceed expectations. And along the way, you watch your costs. And you monitor this daily. You've got to need your numbers. But the moment I fear we give it to consultants, not your or me type of consultants, with high degrees and so forth, they just waffle and waffle and waffle, and the price goes up and up and up. That's my perception. And I find that most companies rather go ahead with them because a decision maker won't lose his job if he's gone with somebody from Harvard.
I think you just opened several of topics. I mean, I don't know from which I should start.
Any way you like.
I think it fundamentally comes down to understanding the right expectations from different. Many times people, I feel, this is my personal opinion, is that we confuse management education with entrepreneurship. And I think though the topics are the same, it's two different things. Entrepreneurship is something totally different from what you learn in colleges. I mean, like even if it's Harvard, Kellogg, whatever. I mean, since I didn't learn there, I cannot completely say, but understanding the way, like how it goes, there they teach you how functional management happens and what kind of analysis that you should do, what is the best practices that you have to do, that kind of process and stuff like that. But in entrepreneurship, it's all about gut feelings, decision taking, the courage, the ability to foresee things. See, the ability to foresee things you cannot learn in a college, right? Because future is unknown. Like you don't have a model for that. And even if you have a model, 99% may not work. So entrepreneurship is something about a personal quality kind of thing. And management is something that is learned. And the effectiveness comes when you mix this thing together. Otherwise, you will have someone who is very, very good in marketing at a theoretical level, who knows all the game, everything, but his strategy still may not work.
Or no intuition, no guts, no daring. My question is more towards the consultant side, because I don't particularly like the large consultancies. I think they just charge a fortune and they put their client through a system. They take this system and processes, put it in the equation and give it to you. That's my...
I mean, like, I would say, like, there could be bad moments and good moments. That would be the right way to say, because there are case studies.
Back for the...
See, the thing is that, I don't know how far it will be true, but when an organization becomes big and big, that the touch where you actually have the passion for something actually goes on. See, think of it this way. A huge organization serving you.
Yes.
And a boutique serving you. For a boutique, you are substantial because you might be an X percentage of their whole turnover and your success really matters to them. So there would be that real element of what you call care attention and stuff like that.
For a big organization, that could be a little nugget in the whole thing. Yes.
Exactly. So it's like it could be process driven. It could be someone doing his job. I mean,
Yes. I see a future whereby maybe using AI as well, that these large consultancy firms cannot charge the kind of fees they charge because the information is going to be more and more accessible. And through AI, I think people aren't going to be so reliant on these big firms. They'll probably come to us more because we move, we adjust, we bend. Does that make sense? Instead of just putting people through a system.
I think AI is going to disrupt this industry in a huge way.
Yes.
One of the things which in Kerala, for example, I had a big office and staff and stuff like that. But now, since last 1 year, I would say this is Ameen Ahsan version 2. Because previously my concept of success and growth was officers, people, But now my whole idea is that if I stick to those ideologies, then I'm going to sing. Because in very near future, this thing is going to be so super that almost all information, if what you're selling is information, if what you're selling is best practices, if what you're selling is process, if what you're selling is benchmarking, the cost could be zero.
Exactly.
Because you just subscribe into like any service providers and you log in your company's information to it. It can actually tell you like where you stand in the industry, where you stand in Dubai, where you stand in UAE, where you stand in the globe.
Yes.
It can give you that benchmarking. It can give you the best practices. You tell him this is your business, your number of staff, or maybe even you input your staff capability. All what was information, process, and all those kind of things will become free.
Amazing.
So a consulting firm that is focusing its energy on these kind of things definitely
Days are numbered.
Will have problems. So. But still, strategy will have possibilities because strategy is about future. And whatever generative AI is delivering today, it's not about the future. It's about the present or the past.
Correct.
It cannot predict the future.
Correct.
And even if it predicts, it might be.
It doesn't go about feelings and emotions and foresight. Yes, it goes by numbers and stats.
It goes by numbers and stats.
Interesting.
And human being is not a rational animal. It's a totally irrational animal. So
I guess human beings take risk, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And maybe AI won't have a certain element of risk added to it. Thank you for that. Your client base is small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and why do you think is the main reason they don't make it? Because when you open up a bank account, they say 80% of your businesses go bust in the first year or two. Mm-hmm. So why do you think most people don't make it?
I think there are 100 reasons for that, but what is entrepreneurship at the end of the day? It's an experiment. Somebody's doing an experiment. Somebody's deciding that if I give A to B, there will be a sale. It's an expectation. And if anything goes wrong in that equation, it's a very complex equation. If any variable goes wrong, that business will fail. If you take the journey of an entrepreneur through the life cycle, there are different phases where the entrepreneur can fail. Some businesses fail even before they commence. Even before the first day of inauguration, that business is a failure. Because many people, they just go by their gut feeling. They think that the customers will be there for this product.
They had an idea in the shower.
Yeah.
Right? They come out thinking everybody wants the product and it doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell.
Nobody's interested.
Maybe it's a good product, but it's the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a good product, a good place, but it's the wrong price. Maybe many things can go wrong. So without a proper study, and most entrepreneurs do not study, they have this feeling that they actually look at anomalies in our life. They look at the stories of people who had extraordinary, miraculous success.
Jump in.
And they feel that they're going to be like them. I tell my people that, don't look at anomaly stories. Don't look at these outliers. Don't look at the people who are extremely successful because their story has got a lot of miracles in it. Many things went just right. Look at the average stories because most probably you're going to be there.
Because Elon Musk was by the skin of his teeth, wasn't he? He got funding from the US government that saved him.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, okay.
Tesla.
Uh-huh.
And SpaceX. They got funding from the Obama government at the last minute, and he saved his ass. Now he's the richest man on the planet. But like you said, lots of miracles happen last minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you check the history of those people who made it extraordinarily big, you'll find that just like a movie, many things just happened.
Yeah.
Many things just fitted, many people just said yes.
But that could be 1 in a billion, 1 in 10 million.
Exactly.
Or something. Yeah, it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. So if we take them as role models and we follow them, there's a very high chance that our rocket may not reach there. So we have to always focus on the averages. How does the average entrepreneur goes?
Yes.
So that's one thing that these people make mistake. They have the planning wrong, and when the planning is wrong, the idea is dead from the beginning itself. The second mistake people make, or the challenges that they face, which they fail, is that not 99% businesses, once you start, the next day it's not going to be profitable. It'll take weeks, months, sometimes even years to actually be profitable.
Yes.
It takes that time for you to really understand your customer and adjust to it, or for your real customers to identify you and come back to you in a profitable manner. And many people actually lose focus at that time.
Yes.
They start thinking like, okay, the sale this month was not good, so let's change our strategy, let's change our offering, let's make a lot of changes.
Keep jumping.
Yeah, jumping here and there. I mean, like the desperate kind of panicking. And that results, if you have co-founders, then you start fighting with each other because this guy will be saying something else.
Yes.
And this will be seen by the employees. Their morale goes down. And many fail that way. I think most of the businesses fail is due to that confusion phase, when you really thought something will work and it didn't work. So now what to do? That whole chaos.
How do you change? How do you maneuver? And how do you communicate it to your staff? That was a really good point.
Another thing is that most of these people, they start businesses without proper capital. Mm-hmm. So when each month you have a deficit, it really burns somewhere. So you really do not have cash. You may have to go for rolling and stuff like that. And that's when the pressure and desperation increases.
Yes.
But at least if you had cash reserves,
yes,
you'll at least be, having a cool head. But they won't be having it because the assumption is that they can have capital only till startup. Once the inauguration is over, they assume that the business will come. Then with that money, you pay salaries, you pay rent, everything. Yes. And that doesn't happen that way.
And they become desperate. They become too much pressure and they can't cope.
Keeping working capital reserve is one of the hardest things for an entrepreneur. It's like, do we need 1 year's reserve? Is that required? 2 months, 3 months? It's very difficult to convince them. Even in our consulting, when we actually tell them that you have to keep this much amount of money as a reserve for your business, that means raising that capital from someone, right?
Yes.
So they'll be like, we'll consider. But many a time that will be their lowest priority. That amount will be their lowest priority.
Wow.
Because there's always an assumption that it will click.
Yeah.
So that's one phase where these small and medium businesses struggle and fail. Another stage is when they start growing. Suppose they took off from the break-even point and now they're starting to make profits. That is also a phase many people fail because they do not know how to manage success. They make all wrong decisions, wrong investments.
They had a plan for the startup, but didn't have a plan for the success.
Actually, the entrepreneurship journey is like a marathon race. Not a marathon race, like the relay race. You have to pass on the baton to another person with a different skill.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's the same skill guy who is actually becoming a promoter, going through the crisis period, then taking to the growth, and then taking to the plateau stage. It's all different skills and mentality.
There's not that many people who have that transferable skill. Sometimes they're the wrong people for the growth stage, right?
Yeah.
They have to maybe hire someone, maybe an operator, somebody who...
A new manager, a new CEO, or a new director, or just become an investor and just step out.
Wow, interesting. Do you find as a consultant that you have to do a lot of fighting sometimes for what's right? Because a lot of times I fire the clients because I feel they're not listening. They're just gonna, and I just say, don't waste your money with me because I disagree with the route you're going down.
Well, I didn't have that need to actually have a fight with them. But many a times I do the screening in the early on stage itself. Mm-hmm. If I don't feel comfortable with the person, and I don't work with them.
Yeah, because you feel it's going to be bad.
Yeah. I mean, like in the last 10 years itself, we have handled with more than 100 plus entrepreneurs, 150 plus engagements, almost 20, 30 industries.
Yes.
So kind of like when you talk to them, you get the feeling like this guy's a time waster. Or
Do you know the biggest one I get is when they knock every single person they've ever done business with. I'm thinking, hang on, you're the common denominator, right? Not everybody was an idiot. Not everybody was wrong. That's a big highlight one for me. How about recruitment? First, no, let's go back to the consultancy part. What's the general length of time somebody uses your services?
typically, we would advise them to have it for 1 year, because that is the time when change starts showing results. But usually, in practical senses, it doesn't last 1 year. Maybe after 6 months or 8 months, the engagement.
And do you go into the business? You have a consultant sitting there? Do you go on and off? How does it normally work?
It
on
depends.
average?
It depends. Like if it's a big engagement, for
You have
example,
permanent staff.
yeah, we were having